What's going on, guys? If you've spent any time out on trail, you've probably had an experience where you felt like maybe you were just surviving versus actually thriving while you're out there, which thriving is what we should all be doing as we're out enjoying nature. I know that I've definitely been in that space, and it's not a fun place to be. But after many days, many miles, and many nights out on trail, I've come up with 5 essential habits that have helped me to be able to enjoy my time better as I'm exploring out in the backcountry. I want to share those with you, so let's get to it. Habit number 1 is to plan your trip. You want to plan your trip well in advance so that you know how to prepare for it. You want to make sure to look at things like elevation gain, any streams, any water sources, any lakes if you're going to be doing fishing or anything like that. If there's any trees, if you're hanging in a hammock and you don't have trees in the area where you're going to camp, that makes it difficult to hang in a hammock. If there's a very just super rocky area, if it's very steep, no real flat spots where you're going, then that also makes it difficult for a tent. So look at the area, and a good app to do that with is Onyx Backcountry. I love that app, and it's just so versatile. It's so robust, and you can plot different maps. You can download the maps for use offline. You can make sure to put different spots where you're going to be camping. Just so many options for Onyx Backcountry. It basically helps you plan your trip from start to finish with knowing all of the trail, knowing the terrain, knowing the elevation gain, knowing where water sources are, all of those things. Another thing with planning your trip is you want to know what activities you want to do out there. Are you going to fish? Are you going to just chill out? Can you have fires? What are the regulations? You want to make sure that if you're planning on having a fire or whatever, you want to make sure there's no burn ban in place. And so check with your local ranger station or whatever it is in your area, whatever it's called. I'm a firm believer in pre-planning all of my trips just because I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I want to be able to tell my family, my wife, and other contacts where I'm going and what my course will be. If it's a really long trail, I also want to look at things like bell out points. Are there any places where I can cut the trail short and someone could come and pick me up? All of those things are super important in the planning stage of going backpacking. And that's habit number 1 that you should get into. You should definitely make that something that you do all the time. Habit number 2 is to carry what you need based on your plans. So you've just planned your trip. You've spent a lot of time planning it, really figuring out what's out there, what you want to do. And now it's time to really make it happen. If you've planned to do some fishing, take a fishing pole. If you've planned to do a little bit of painting out there, take a little paint set. If you want to do some carving or whittling or whatever, take a knife, whatever it is. Get out there and enjoy it. This is your trip. This is your time in the backcountry. As long as you're practicing leave no trace, as long as you're obeying the laws and the regulations and all of that stuff, that's really what matters. Remember, it's okay to break the norm. There's so much subjective information out there, so much advice, so much opinion of what is a backpacker, what you can take as a backpacker, what you can't take as a backpacker, and it's just overwhelming. And if you listen to that, you'll probably never get out there. And so I just say, man, just get out there and do what you want to do. I have a friend who went backpacking with me. It was the very first time that we've gone. And honestly, he carried a massive air mattress in his pack. He had an electric toothbrush. And you know what? He had a great time. And for me, I was like, that's cool. You know, if that's what he wants to carry and he's okay carrying that weight and that, you know, and his backpack holds it all, so be it, you know? He's doing his thing. He's having a good old time out there and having fun and enjoying what God created, nature out here, you know? So don't waste your time. Don't squander your time. Time's limited. Get out there and really enjoy it. Just take what you want to carry based on your plans. And yeah. Oh boy. Habit number 3 is to make sure to refuel regularly. There are so many times when I've been out on the trail and I just get hiking and moving along and want to knock out miles. And I've realized that it's been a long time since I even had a drink of water, or I stopped to refuel with some food or a snack or something like that. And I end up hitting a wall later on in the day and having a miserable night at camp. I do think the habit of refueling regularly comes along with careful planning, because you'll know length of trail. You'll know how many miles you need to do that day, how many times you need to stop to refuel, how hot it is. Hopefully you've looked at the weather and you know how hot it's going to be, and if you're going to be sweating a lot, if you're doing a ton of elevation gain, that's going to take it out of you. Things like that will determine how often you refuel. One tip for that is to set a timer. If you carry a phone or a watch, just set a timer, and every so often grab a snack so you don't deplete everything to the point that it just is a pain to get back. I've been out on a trip one time where I did several miles. I was with my kids, and honestly, like, I was not fueling and not drinking enough water. And I'll tell you, that can do some funky stuff to your head. You start to make weird choices. You start to make choices of things you wouldn't have done, things you should do that you aren't doing. And I'll tell you, that can turn into a bad situation really quickly, and it will just ruin your experience. I was so sick, felt absolutely gross that night, and yeah, it was really, really not a fun night. So I would say that is one of the more important things as far as like just being safe out there on trail and actually being able to enjoy it. That's why I've made it a habit of mine to refuel regularly, to set a timer, to make sure that I'm getting the nourishment that I need while I'm out there on trail knocking out miles. So habit number 4 is to let your feet breathe. This is something that can absolutely make or break your trip. If your feet start to get nasty with, hot spots and blisters and other things, setting up camp and then just kicking off your shoes and your socks and just letting your feet air out is probably one of the best feelings after a long day hiking. So I try to make that a habit of mine, and something that I do every single time when I get to camp, is just take care of my feet. Your feet are the things that are moving you along. They're constantly in contact with the ground. So get to camp, take your shoes off, take your socks off, let your feet breathe. That's a therapeutic feeling anyway. An extra tip is to carry an extra pair of socks with you and just swap them out every other day. Make sure to wash them in between. So doing this will help decrease the chances of hot spots, blisters, and as I mentioned, it's super therapeutic, so why not? Habit number 5 is to not ignore hot spots. Whatever you do, do not ignore hot spots. A surefire way to ruin a trip is to ignore hot spots and let them turn into blisters. Definitely take care of your feet. As I mentioned already, let your feet breathe. However, if you do start feeling a hot spot, that's time to take those shoes off, take the socks off. If you have an alcohol wipe, wipe it down with an alcohol wipe, stick some Leuco tape on it, put your shoes back on, and get on your way. That's gonna be so much better than just dealing with it and trying to be cool because you don't wanna stop. Trust me, if you don't take care of your feet with hot spots, when you start to get blisters, you're gonna spend a lot more time dealing with blisters on your trip than you would had you stopped. We'll just leave it at that. Take care of your feet. Don't ignore hot spots. If you have any other habits that you follow, things you do as you're out there to make sure that your backpacking trips go as well as they can possibly go, leave it in the comments. I'd love to get a conversation started. I'd love to hear from you guys as a community and be able to learn from each other. Well, guys, that's it. 5 habits that I use to have an enjoyable time out on the trail. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And most of all, I hope you have an enjoyable time out there in the backcountry and that you stay safe. We'll catch you on the next one.